Hello, everyone. It is Sunday afternoon, and I just wanted to come on real quickly to give y'all an inspiration word for this upcoming work week. And the title of it is Keep Going Forward, okay? Because at times when we are on our journey, we turn around sometimes, we look to the side, we look down, we look up, but we need to keep focused and keep going forward. And so today I want to use the book of Ruth, the second chapter, okay? And coming from the second verse here, all right, from the book of Ruth. And it states, and Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor. Naomi said to her, go ahead, my daughter. So she went out, entered the field, and began to glean behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she was working in a field belonging to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelech. Elimelech. Okay, that's a hard one to pronounce, but Elimelech. So let's talk about this right here with Ruth. Ruth was moving ahead, okay? And her life had turned upside down all of a sudden, okay? Here is Ruth is a young girl, a young woman, and her husband has died, okay? And she's following her mother-in-law, and she loves her mother-in-law, Naomi, who is a very courageous woman. You can tell that she is a woman of strength, inspiration, or she was just an inspiration to Ruth. And so Ruth now is traveling with Naomi, okay? And both of them are dealing with this tragedy because Naomi's son was married to Ruth, okay? So they're grieving, they're dealing with death, okay? Dealing with a lot of death, a lot of sorrow. And so you can imagine at this moment in their lives, they don't know what to do, they don't know which way to go. They're just sad, miserable, probably, ready to give up. They are discouraged. But at the same time, Ruth is following behind Naomi, and she is moving forward with her life. Even though she's dealing with a tragedy, she is still picking up the pieces, still picking up her life and moving forward despite this tragedy that she is dealing with. And in the end, it turns out it's such an amazing story with Ruth, is that Ruth is going to end up finding a new husband, which is Boaz, and they are going to have children, okay? But an offspring from Ruth will eventually be King David. And remember, King David, Jesus is a descendant of King David. Okay, so just imagine, what if Ruth had a stop? What if Ruth just had a just mellow out in her sorrow, just giving up on life and said, I'm giving up, I turn in the towel, I don't want to live no more, I don't want to do anything no more. But instead, she kept going forward. Despite the circumstances, she kept going forward. And so that's what I want to leave with y'all this word today, is to keep going forward. No matter how bad the situation may look, how terrible it may be. Use Ruth as an example. Use Ruth as a motivator. Read the story here about Ruth. It is such an amazing story. It is such an inspirational story for women in general, to look at this woman, despite her obstacles, despite of dealing with death of her husband, she moved forward. She didn't stop. She kept going. And then in the end, an amazing thing happened in the end, where she still ended up living her life and having an amazing life. And then her descendant, she's going to be the great grandmother of King David. Okay, it is such an amazing story. So just keep going forward, because you don't know who is watching you. You don't know what lies up ahead, but keep going forward. Okay, don't turn around, don't turn back, don't look down, don't, wallow in your sorrow. If you do, just let it, just wallow a little bit, because I know sometimes it get hard and you get frustrated, you get angry, you get annoyed about, certain things, and it's okay to feel that way. Okay, that is part of life. Okay, that is what makes us human. So we are going to feel those things from time to time, but what I'm saying is eventually move forward, eventually keep going. Okay, dust the dirt off your shoulders and keep going, because you don't know what is lined up ahead. You probably got a breakthrough up ahead, but you just gotta keep pushing. Okay, so on that job, working with those coworkers that get on your nerves, just keep going, because you don't know, maybe next month you might be got a promotion there. Okay, so keep going forward. Okay, just keep going. And I know sometimes it get hard, it gets frustrating, but just think about, if you keep going forward, just keep going forward. Okay. And that's something that I also have to work with too. I do have to tell myself that from time to time, but keep going forward, keep living your life, keep doing your thing, keep going to work or going to school or whatever it is that you're doing. That breakthrough is right up ahead, and you don't know how close you are to it, but you just gotta keep pushing and keep going ahead. All right, so that is my inspiration for you all today, this Sunday afternoon, for this upcoming work week, is moving forward. And then check out the book of Ruth. It is such an amazing story. All right.